Last week, Mark Young became the first player to get to 2 wins for the season down at Camberwell Park. He went back-to-back at Clevedon and Camberwell. John, just what does it say about his character that after the first Europro win of his career, he went straight back out there and repeated the feat?
Well, snap, crackle and pop. He's just, you know, he started off the season, the last couple of years as well, been playing some really good golf, just hadn't got the win under his belt. He's finally broken that duck and now he's off and running, and that's why he's gone back to back. And what performances. I mean, great result at Clevedon, great result at Camberwell Park, and he's just 2 wins away from that $250,000, mate. Unbelievable. It's going to get twitchy.
He is, and this week we've come up to Northumberland to visit Longhurst Hall. The 4 times we played the Dawson course before, the winning total has been 2, 3, 7 and 8 under par, so it's not one that rolls over. John, why does it play so tough?
Well, do you know what? A couple of years back, I think it was about 2-3 years ago, it was blowing an absolute hoolie, borderline being unplayable. We had to call it a bit like Montrose on final day this year. You know, it was that windy and the boys just couldn't even stand up in it. That was why that scoring was so low, so high, I should say. But, you know, this golf course, what's happened this year, really, is the summer. It's just baked out, everything. It's so hard and fast out there. Greens, they can't really shave them down as much as they want. You know, they can't get them as quick as they want because they don't know where that wind's going to come in and really kind of spoil it again. It's kind of on the defensive, but it's so bouncy, and as soon as you miss in those greens, and they're tiny greens as well, you know, and they're bouncing sideways, and there's thick rough, there's lakes everywhere. It's not easy, mate, and this golf course doesn't give it up.
An intriguing first couple of days then. Looking at the leaderboard as it stands right now, who stands out for you going into the final round?
Okay, it's a tough one. I mean, you know, you come off to a course record by Sanderson on first day, 9 under par. He's a little bit down on his luck because he's gone from a course record to shooting over par. Then you've got Scott Fallon, winner. He's right up behind him. If I had to pick one, I've got that feeling, sneaky feeling about O'Hara again. Coming under the radar, done that at Thirteenth, you know, bouncy golf course, similar here at, you know, Longhurst, and that first hole is going to be a pinnacle hole for these boys as well. Real tough cookie, hardest hole on the golf course, long par 4, and, you know, fraught with danger. You know, it's a very wide area off the tee. Got that brook just running across you. It's about 300 yards, but the boys just seem to be running into it, even hitting iron off it. And then you come into that green at 45-degree angle with the water on the left-hand side. Really tough start for the boys, and I think that's going to set the tone for the final round.
Great stuff, John. Let's head out to the action and see if his crystal ball's accurate.
Thanks, lads. Well, one thing that John Morgan said, which is totally correct, this first hole, what a baptism of fire. It's playing 3/4 of a shot over its par. So Jack South, making a par there, gained something on the field.
Yes, he certainly has, because that is very tough, and he's just rolled that little 4-footer in for a birdie on the second.
Well, here's a look at this opening tee shot. Here's Connor. As we heard, there's a brook down there, around 300 yards. Got to be careful not to run into it. Really firm fairways. And that one safely avoided it, just in the light rough.
Good player, Sam Connor. Won a couple of times on this tour. And you can see there, lovely balance, big wide follow through as he booms that one down the first fairway.
And here is John Morgan's pick.
Yeah, O'Hara at the second. Just a short pitch in here. These are the ones that can be tricky. Front pin, not much room to work with. And you can see he judged that pretty well, but still running on, 18-foot past.
Kit's down on the first with the ball of the leader.
Sam Connor is off and running in the final round here. His tee shot's a little bit left. He's just missed the fairway, but this opens the green up really nicely for him. It's at a slight angle away, and there's water catching any ball that you just pull. So this makes it a much safer shot, but it's still tough. 219 yards. There's just enough breeze to think about. Anywhere on the putting surface is a good start to settle the nerves.
There you can see the board showing the 3-shot lead for Connor, and here he is with that second shot. Needs to be not too aggressive here, needs to keep it playing more for the front of the green, I would have thought. Can't afford to drag it into that water on the left. And coming up a little bit short and right. Another good view of the swing here, Gary.
Yep, as you said, he'd gone for that sort of drilling one in there, running it up towards the front as we have a look at Paul O'Hara. Won the PGA Club Pros Championship last year. And lovely putt, beautifully rolled in.
This first hole really is a terror, and another victim, Joe Dean, taking a drop from the hazard. So playing his third, not the start he wanted.
The front right bunker is a very popular miss on this tough first hole. Connor has found it, and he's got a bit of a tough lie. His ball's just lying in some rake marks. That means he's going to take a lot of sand, and he's not going to be able to get too much spin. With that water lurking over the back, you can expect him to be a little bit cautious here, just to guard against any disasters.
Well, the one good thing is he has got some room to work with on the green here, and the rake marks are going towards the flag. But he does need to be a little bit careful. Probably a bit of a splash and run, I'd imagine. He'll be trying to play here. He splashed it, but didn't get the run.
No, it looked like he should. Had the weight on the front foot as though he was going to drive it out a little bit lower, but obviously the club head has just entered a bit too deep into the sand there, Scott.
Now Dean, fourth shot at the first. Get up that slope. And still work to be done for a bogey 5.
In the light of all this, Kearney's par on the first must have felt like a birdie, but he's struggling a little on the second.
Yeah, short pitch in again. We saw how much O'Hara's ran on from the front of this green. And he's judged that pretty well for distance. A little bit off with the line. Won't be too happy with that one.
So, what can Sam Connor do after his bunker shot? Can he save par? Needs to keep this just inside the edge of the hole, but not quite hard enough.
No, and that should be a bogey 5, which is no real disaster at the first. It has been playing so tough.
Now Nick Watson was tied third here last year at 6 under par, and that's the mark he finds himself on right now.
Towering iron shot in there. You can hear that ball landing very hard. He's got it pin high, just dragged it a little bit to the left.
So the misfortunes of Joe Dean. Can he at least salvage something? No, not to be. That's definitely not the start that Joe Dean wanted. Been playing well these last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, always tough to take. The opening hole, but you've got to put it behind you. Move on, plenty of birdie chances out there as we see Anderson at the second. Big drive down, just a short chip and run. And look at that one. Wow. He's almost as far away as he was when he was pitching.
This course, fellas, is the definition of fiery.
Yeah, it is. We'll be, if this wonderful summer goes on, people will be comparing it to 1976 and 1995 and all those once-in-a-generation summers that we sometimes get in Britain.
Yeah, lots of courses playing very, very tricky. Lots of skill needed in the judgment of distance control. Trying not to hit it too far as we see this long birdie putt across the green.
Yeah, it's a different game, Scott, isn't it, when it goes fiery like this? It's these guys get so used to big, high, towering shots and the ball stopping, and when the ground's like a bone, it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Now another long birdie putt. This is Anderson on the second. Be careful here. Difficult putting from this length. Wow. Well, he's rattled that one in, and that is some 3 in the end.
Oh, yeah, that certainly was. So, this 30-incher for Watson for his par. Oh, dear. Great big long backswing and a bit of a decel through there that just turned the face left.
Yeah, disappointment there. Now Kearney has got this for his par. Been in a little bit of trouble down this hole. good opening part. Can he make one at the second? Yes, he can. Fantastic. That'll keep some momentum going in this final round for him.
Keaney's now tied second with Anderson. After that calamitous start, Dean is relegated to tied sixth. Still in front by 2, Connor.
Anderson at 3. Par 3, just a short iron. Lofting it in, trying to judge the bounce from the front of the green. And not quite judging that one. Looks like it may have caught the left trap.
Now, one of our contenders is Niall Keaney from the Royal Dublin Club in Ireland. Turned pro 9 years ago, and earlier this week, Kit caught up with him to have a chat.
Niall, I'm going to get you to open up the memory bank and go back a few years to start with. You played in the 2009 Walker Cup. What was that experience like as an amateur?
Yeah, great experience. It was obviously the pinnacle of my amateur career, and I had to work hard to actually make the team for a start. And once I went over there, it was brilliant. And then not only playing the Walker Cup, but actually playing all 4 matches. That was a great satisfaction for me as well. And obviously, it was on stateside as well, so great experience to be travelling over there and playing against a home American team, which were, as we know now, star-studded. You know, and you know, it was just a great experience overall. You know.
You had a good record there as well. You lined up against the likes of Ricky Fowler, Bud Corley, Cameron Tringale, all gone on to get their PGA Tour card since, and you took 2 points from your 4 matches. How big an achievement is that looking back now?
Yeah, the team was, you know, the team they had was just incredible looking back now. And I played against some of the top guys that were on the team on that week, and managed to get 2 points out of 4. And I lost another game, foursomes game on the 18th. So. Yeah, I happened to play really well, and I had great support over there with family and friends, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And then obviously to see how those guys have actually gone on to do what they've done now, and it gives you great encouragement too, you know. You played with Stiggy Hodgson and also in the team the likes of Tommy Fleetwood, Chris Paisley. Do you keep in touch with any of those guys now? Yeah, probably not as much as I should have. And obviously I talk to Stiggy a lot of the time because he's playing out here, but the other guys have gone on to, you know, better levels and stuff like that. So that's where I'm trying to get to, I suppose, you know. So again, it's great encouragement to see what they've done. In 2009, I think I went to the Brabazon Trophy, which was on in Leeds in Moortown, and managed to win that. And that kind of cemented my place on the team, because up to that, I don't think it would have been guaranteed. That Brabazon Trophy is obviously a hugely prestigious amateur event. How did that change your career trajectory from that point? Yeah, well, again, I knew I had to win overseas in order to make the team, and so that's what did it for me. And just got great satisfaction out of actually winning a big championship like that at that time in your career. And obviously making the team, then it kind of opens up different doors for you too, and be it invites onto the tour or more possibilities, and that's what it did for me.
And Keaney has done well here. He was tied 7th in the Dawson and Sanderson Classic in 2016.
Yeah, here he is, controlling this short iron in here. Well, he's judged that beautifully, pitching it all the way to the putting surface and getting it to stop. An aggressive tee shot from Connor down the second, but he might actually be too close to this green behind me. Only 46 yards to the pin. The greens are firm, the pin is towards the front, and there's just a little rise up to that green. He can't really carry it the whole way and hope to stop it. And playing a little bump and run is really unpredictable through the little bit of rough that's coming in here and that slope up to the green. It's going to be really interesting to see how he plays this one. The safe one's the bump and run, but if he's going for birdie, he might just have to try the flop shot.
Well, Kit's given us chapter and verse there, Scott, on that. I wonder what he'll do.
Well, you can see he's set up for the lob shot here. He's going to try and pitch it all the way in the front of the green. Get a little bit of grab on it. And even that one has released on a bit, 20 feet for birdie. Like we said, or like Kit said, just a bit too close to that green perhaps. Now Anderson just came up short and left. Should be a standard little chip, bump and run here. And it released, a little bit fiery.
Problem is there that he had to do that, but you could see the rise of that green was so baked, it was always going to be very difficult to judge.
Joe Dean from the Hillsborough Club in Sheffield. They always say try and get positives out of everything. Well, I suppose the only positive when you make a double bogey on the first is that you've got time to recover. But with the second there to the second hole, no positives whatsoever.
No, it's one of those off very hard ground. You know, modern wedges are wonderful with their different bounce angles, but the trouble with bounce is when the ground is very bouncy, it bounces the club into the ball, and that's the result you get very often.
Yeah, some fiery shots. Now, that was a good roll, but it just shaves the left edge. Made a great putt on the last for par, but that one unfortunately not dropping.
So this long birdie attempt, with the way the start is, he'd just probably happy with the par and get settled down. Yep, very good judgment of pace. Should be able to negotiate that last little bit.
Anderson would love to do today what he did at Camberwell Park on his last Europro Tour start, a closing 65 for tied 6th, a Euro Tour personal best. That, though, a setback.
Yeah, this second hole causing a few problems, but Connor with a birdie chance, albeit not as close as he would have liked. But he should have seen the roll up here from Dean's ball. Very, very close. Safely in for a par, though.
Midlander Jack South isn't going south. He's improved to 6 under, sharing third with Anderson and O'Hara. But up top, the overnight leader remains the golfer to catch. That's Sam Connor, victorious here in 2015, now looking to recreate a slice of Lunghurst Hall history in the Dawson and Sanderson Classic. Welcome back everyone to sunny Northumberland and the Dawson and Sanderson Classic, where Sam Connor leads by 2 from Niall Keaney, with Paul O'Hara in the mix to become the second multiple winner on the Euro Pro Tour this season. It remains absolutely wide open this tournament early in the final round.
And here is O'Hara, third shot to the 4th, just on the edge of the water there. Again, when conditions are this dry, very easy to get a bit defensive. Looking for too much roll in, but he looks to have judged that one very nicely indeed. Pin high, never a bad thing.
So, tee shot from our leader on the 3rd hole. Just a short middle iron. And again, just trying to judge the bounce right, which he looks as though he's done very well. Hold on, hold on. Very nice. Right behind the pin. A little bit of break from the right in a few seconds. We'll see what happens.
Now this is Jack South. 4 tournaments played on the tour this season, 4 cuts made. Tied 17th at Camberwell Park, his best so far.
Yeah, steady start to his season. And just showing us there, if you get the strike and hit the green, you can get it to stop and even reverse. Now O'Hara must make putt here really for par. Keep his momentum going on this final day. And that one slides by on the right side. That'll be a drop shot. It's a very bunched leaderboard, but that is taking him the wrong way, unfortunately.
Sam Connor. Let's hit this one just probably an inch or so to the right of the hole. Should swing in to the left. He gets the lines looking good. Yes, look at that. Good boy, Sam.
Second birdie of the week on the 3rd hole. I suppose we could call that, fellows, a slightly delayed bounce back.
Very good, Phil, very good.
Now Keaney at the fourth. His approach shot from the left side of this fairway. Should be a good angle in. Just drag that one off to the left. That is going to leave one of those slightly awkward chip and runs to these firm surfaces. Now south. Birdie putt for him at the fifth. Very upright putting style. Has he given it enough? It was just turning in there. A fraction more pace required.
Now, back where we saw Niall Keaney's ball bump off the green. Looks as though he's managed to slide the club under that beautifully. Oh, it's difficult to judge, but that was a good shot. Got a good contact, but we're not going to see too many getting them within a couple of feet today round the greens.
O'Hara at the fifth, slightly out of position. Coming in from the rough. Some good height on it. A little bit of a flyer perhaps. Ooh. And that is actually on the water in the hazard.
Yes, that was a bit of a misjudgment. So we see Niall Keaney salvaging his par from the edge of the green.
Jack South's best ever on the Europro Tour was tie 12th at Ballykistine last year. So he's keeping really good company this week. Be interesting to see how he copes mentally with being in contention. And this is working out a treat.
Yeah, it's a great shot in there. You can see straight downwind. Really good swing he put on that one. Now this is O'Hara's ball, and he is going in, not the full Van der Velde. He's just got the one shoe off and sock.
Oh, that's not a bit of a pun there. Oh, he is going in. He might well be going in a minute, in up to his neck.
Well, he's not a rolling stone because they don't gather any moss.
No. Oh.
Yeah. That was brilliant, Phil.
That was very good.
Well, what a shot he's played from there. That is incredible, actually. 3 feet. Cleaned himself up, and on he goes. Brave shot.
So this little one for Jack South for a birdie.
You have to say, up in the northeast of England, South is thriving.
Now we saw O'Hara clip one off the mossy surface of the water up to here, 2.5 feet, 3 feet. And that is a massive par save, a massive break for him.
South is joined second with Keaney. Mind you, it's as you were at the top, with Connor 3 clear overnight. Exactly that after 4 holes of the closing round. Now, it's to the Island Green 5th we go. Inviting but treacherous.
Yeah, and here's Connor. Again, coming in from this left side, just in the semi, if you can call it semi-rough. We've got great contact on it, and he did. Actually pulling that one back away from the hole.
Yeah, really nipped down well onto that. Trapped the ball between the face and the bare earth.
No one has come closer to a Europro Tour title over the last few years without actually achieving it than Joe Dean, one of the most consistent players on the tour.
Qualified for the Open Championship last year. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was a little surreal. It was sort of, you had to pinch yourself every day until the first round. But no, it was fantastic. I was probably more nervous playing with Rory on the Monday in the practice round than I was on the Thursday. Thursday stood on the first hole.
What did you learn from that whole experience?
Just about keeping yourself composed, taking one shot at a time. I mean, Birkdale was a really tough test of golf, and you could never let yourself wander too far away from the next shot. And I think that's what sometimes playing the slightly easier courses on this tour, you can think about a couple holes ahead thinking, oh, I can get a shot there. And before you know it, you're not focusing on what you're doing at the time, and it can cost you shots.
You wear your heart on your sleeve out on the golf course, much like Tyrrell Hatton. How important is that element of your persona for playing your best golf?
I've always loved to show my emotions, and I think I always will. I mean, a lot of people speak about it can harm your game. Yeah, to a certain extent, it can harm your game, but I do find that having a bit of emotion helps me as well.
You have Emily, your girlfriend, caddy for you every week. What's that dynamic like?
We work very well together. I mean, we've lived together for probably over 4 years now. A lot of relationships don't work like that with my friends and stuff like that. They don't know how I can cope, but or how we cope with each other, I should say. But no, we work together great. She's
a very good golfer herself as well. How much input does she have to your strategy and reading of greens, that kind of thing?
Yeah, she does. I will console her on the greens quite a few times. It's a bit more difficult with the shots, obviously, because they hit it slightly different to what we do. But no, I mean, she reassures me more than anything, and that's what I need.
You've been incredibly consistent. How close do you feel your game is to where it needs to be to compete on the Challenge and step up to the European Tour level once you start getting that winning habit?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment it's just the fairways for myself at the minute. If I can keep it in the short stuff, then I believe that I can hit it as close as anybody with second shots, and yeah, work my way up the tours and be right in contention at the top.
Just to put numbers on that consistency, 5 top 10s in 2016, the same in 2017, and already 4 this season.
Yeah, very consistent stuff. He's got to break through at some point. And a pretty decent approach there, gives him a chance for birdie.
Now, 6th hole. As we have a look at Watson, splashing one out of the sand. That's a very, very good shot, because that was awkward just on the downslope there. And nearly, as you could see, right in the hole. Good effort from a tough, tough spot.
Yeah, you would have fancied that one. I could have easily dropped. Now O'Hara, his third shot, just on the slight downslope, keeping his weight on his left side. Get the contact, which he has. Beautiful. Be another tap in for him.
Really nice shot into 12 feet for Connor, but it's left him a putt that he really can't get running too fast at the hole. It's slippery down there, and as the pace comes off it, it is going to swing from left to right.
Well, you can see there, 5 shots ahead of his playing partner. Now here's that downhill, slightly left to right birdie attempt. He's got to set it off. Is it moving? Wow, didn't move as much as he thought.
So, following that very nice little chip, Paul O'Hara. Simple tap in for his birdie, moving in the right direction.
Yeah, big one that actually. Saving par on 5, birdie in 6. And now here's Dean with his birdie attempt.
Yeah, good putt.
This is a really good response after that terrible start, and maybe the synergy here, because he's a former English amateur champion and a Yorkshireman, and the winner here last year was just that, Nick Marsh.
Well, that's a solid birdie there for Watson. 6 or 7 feet.
Watson climbs into a share of 4th, but for Sam Connor, it's so far so good. 3 clear of the chasers, steady after a somewhat shaky start. You know, this tour is chiefly about giving young players a ladder into the pro ranks. Each and every week, the lineup is filled with aspiring stars chasing their ambitions. Tom Gandhi is one such player. Longhurst, the next stop for him, and for Gandhi, a chance to live out another dream. A trip to his beloved Newcastle United, in the company of our own kit man, Kit Alexander.
Tom, your first season on the Europro Tour, your first season as a professional, so how are you finding things in the paid ranks?
Good, enjoying it a lot more than I did as an amateur, I think. Enjoy the kind of added pressure of trying to make some money. Enjoy the golf courses we're playing on the Europro Tour as well. Find them a bit more scoreable maybe than some of the amateur stuff, so yeah, quite like it at the moment.
You're proudly from the Isle of Man. What was it like growing up there and getting into golf on quite a small island, really?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, very windy place, but lots of good golfers over there. Good group of guys as well, encouraging kind of environment to grow up and play in.
You got picked up by the England setup. How much did that help your development?
Yeah, I had 3 years in the England A squad. 3 good years, learnt a lot. Sometimes, yeah, maybe didn't play my best. I was maybe focusing on trying to get better, but really enjoyed it. Was really useful. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Having seen the competition and the courses, do you think it's a realistic target for you to be looking to win this season?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, nobody's turning up not to try and win. Obviously, you're going to have a good week, but everybody has good weeks. It's kind of, I think you probably want to build a level of consistency, but if you can get a win, it would benefit you more than several mediocre finishes. So that's what we're trying to do. But for now, we are where we are, and we'll try and build on a successful season this year.
An encouraging start to your career. Best of luck the rest of this year.
Cheers.
1 goal was achieved. Gandhi made the cut here in the northeast, but only just. Unable to keep pace with our leading contenders, he finished with a 71, 1 under for the tournament. Glorious midsummer at Lunghurst Hall, and the Europro Tour is back for the Dawson and Sanderson Classic. And with the final round now taking shape, Sam Connor leads by a healthy 3 shots from Jack South and Niall Keaney. As for Keaney, he's arrived on the par 5 6th, looking to cut into that deficit.
Well, here's Keaney, that second shot to the 6th. Looking to make a birdie or an eagle just to put some pressure on Connor in the early stages of this round. He's just creeping away with it, a 3-shot lead at the moment. That one just needs to settle a little bit. Should just hang on to the back fringe.
Just shows how fiery the course is though. I mean, 556 yards of driving an iron.
Yeah, it's incredibly bouncy, as we know. And there's another one just going to run through. The one good thing is, for a lot of these guys, you get a half-decent lie. You can use your putter from anywhere around these greens.
Yeah, as we have a look at Jack's house, 3rd shot here from behind these little bushes.
Well, that stopped very quickly. Just on the front right edge of the green there. No problem at all.
Anderson's bogey on the 3rd today was his first drop shot on the front 9 all week. Looking to get back under par for the card though today.
Going with the putter there from the fringe. Slightly heavy-handed. Eagle attempt there. But he's left himself some work for the birdie.
As we go back to where we saw Southball, just on the front right fringe, up and over the slope and running very well. Little bit of work to do though.
Here's Kit on 6.
Keaney's second shot just off the green here at the first par 5, but he's got a little bit of a sprinkler issue here. As you can see, some standing water when you step down and the water in the sprinkler head. He should get a free drop away from that. When he does, he'll probably come this way, be playing off a little bit of a drier piece of turf. He's probably going to have to chip it because it is quite green just in this little bit here right next to the sprinkler. But he's going to fancy he can make it. There's not a lot of movement on it. He can just bunt it on, perhaps with as little as an 8 or a 9 iron, get it running towards the hole and feed in from left to right. This is definitely makeable, and at worst he will want a birdie from here.
Well, he's just getting the referee in just to establish his nearest point, and then he gets a club length. So he's come back over this side, Gary.
Yeah, that will have been his nearest point of full relief.
Well, That's just a bogey. Falling away. Now, Keaney, eagle putt on 6. This would bring him within 1 of Connor.
Nicely done. You feel shortchanged if you don't make at least a birdie on the 6th. The average score of this hole, unusually, is lower than the average score of the par 4 first.
Yeah, that is a tough opening hole. And this is a relatively simple par 5 for these guys.
Seventh, Paul O'Hara's second shot. Good balance O'Hara has. Hits a lot of very, very good shots. Experienced player.
Bit of misjudgment there, Gary. Perhaps looking for it to bound on, and that's where we said it can be easy to get a little bit too tentative, as we see Anderson race the first putt past. That's a great save for his birdie.
You know, he's actually played in a PGA Tour event, Thomas Anderson, the Barbasol Championship in Alabama. That was when he was studying at Jacksonville State University.
That's a nice thing to have had the opportunity to do as we watch Sam Connor with a little arboreal trouble, but he's avoided the tree that was behind him. As we can see, got a lovely contact, and it's running up towards the green. Yeah, got himself out of a bit of bother.
One of those in the mix is a former Midland Open champion, Nick Watson. His favourite course is Hollingwell, and this venue must be near the top of the list, having finished tied 3rd here last year.
I think the course just kind of suits me a little bit. With the small greens, it's big emphasis on your long game, especially your iron play. Off the tee, it's pretty wide in places, but then with the greens being so small, your iron play's got to be on it really, and that's one of my strengths that I feel is my mid to long irons that are pretty good. So yeah, hopefully keep that going.
It was pretty wet last year, very dry this year. How does that make it play differently?
Well, this year it's obviously playing a lot shorter than what it was last year. You're getting all the runs, so clubs off the tees are totally different. You're hitting 3, even 4 clubs shorter than what I was doing last year to finish in the same positions. But then going into the greens, with it being wet last year, it was target golf near enough. Whereas this year you've got to really think about the bounce and how much it's going to run, and depending on your lie within the rough or the fairway, all these different factors that are playing into it this week.
Yeah, lots of imagination required, and obviously small greens, but when they're firm, they're even smaller. Here is Watson at the 7th with his approach. And he's fired that one right in there. Over the pin, got it to stop.
So Sam Connor back on the par 5-6 with his 3rd shot. Little flip up as he judged the run out. Yeah, pretty good. Probably as good as we can hope for from anybody today.
O'Hara prevailed in the season-opening Motor Caddy Masters at Frilford Heath. He was tied 6th in Montrose on home turf. Looking good for one of those promotion spots with a big check here, and that's really good judgment.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go low, Paul. Shoot some low scores. Now here's Dean. This par 5 6th. We just saw Connor run about 10 feet past. Can Dean do any better? Very, very similar shot. A couple of feet closer. Good chance for birdie, and as we said, it's most guys birdie in this hole. You don't want to be making a par.
And Watson will be hoping that he can pick up his birdie here. So you can see aiming just a little bit up the left-hand side. Should swing in, but great pace, but overcooked it.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. When the greens are dry, you can over-borrow quite easily, feeling the ball's going to slide away from you.
Now Connor to further improve his chances of a 4th Euro Pro Tour title.
Well, that one slides by the left side. And that's just a par on this short par 5. That'll feel like a drop shot.
Yes, it certainly will. As we have a look at Scott Fallon, winner earlier on this season. This for his birdie. Yeah, no messing.
Yeah, it was a great win for Scott earlier in the season.
Dean, has he managed to learn something from Connor's ball? Certainly has. Beautifully in. Moving himself more and more into contention.
Yes, impressive this. Dean continues to rally, joining Anderson in a share of third. But with 1/3 of the decisive third round in the books, it's Connor by 2. And on the 7th, his closest challenger is struggling. That is Niall Keaney.
Yeah, this 18-incher for a bogey. That is not what he wanted. Having had a good start, starting to apply some pressure on the leader. Just gives it away as we see Connor with his approach to the 7th. Really squeezing that ball off the turf. And again, popular spot where guys have finished. Probably just thinking it's going to release down from there, but a few shots have just dug in and stopped on the front of that green.
Niall Keaney, high rising shot with a lofted club. Dead aim right over the top of the flag, as you could see, but half a club too much.
Yeah, guys getting perhaps a little bit close to some of these greens. Now Dean, second shot here, is he going to squeeze it under? No. Room to go over the top. Blind shot. And that's very good from there.
Sometimes a blind shot's a nice thing to have. You just pick a spot in front of you and have a whack, don't you, Scott?
Yeah, I guess it stops you second guessing by seeing the flag. Now Anderson, 8th hole, second shot. Again, looking to get something really going here.
This 8th is playing pretty short down the wind today, but we have not seen too many birdies because that pin is cutting a really difficult location. It's just on the back of a slope, so there's a lot of movement around the hole. This one back up into the slope. It's tricky to tell what way it's going to move, but I think just a hint of right to left as it gets near the hole.
And as you said, Scott, we see Sam Connor from this popular spot. Seen the putt a few times. It's not been easy to judge the pace of this one. And as before, another one running 3.5 feet past.
Yeah, and those are not the sort of putts you want as the leader. Now Keaney, just through the back of the 8th. His approach shot a little bit strong. Giving this one a wrap back up there into the wind. It's got a great line on it. Go on then. Well, you can't get much more central than that. 2 more rolls and that was in. Why is it whenever they're bang on line, they're just a fraction short?
Now Dean, after that double bogey on the first, looking to go into red figures for the day. Not quite high enough. It catches them out pretty much all the time, that putt.
Yeah, it's a tough pin position there, just on that little slope. Now Anderson, again, back up the green, slightly into the breeze. Can be nice and positive with this one for birdie. Just hung out on the right edge. And those are the ones, the guys are close to the green. They'll be looking at birdies all day long, but the firmness of the course is just proving a bit too tough.
Now Connor, firm just inside the right lip. Now, even though he's past the hole, couldn't get the line right, and that is a setback.
we've witnessed plenty of chopping and changing in the battle for the role of chief pursuer, but despite that slip-up, Connor's remained constant at the head of affairs. Much more to come from the Dawson and Sanderson Classic after the break. We're fast approaching the turn in the final round at lovely Lunghurst Hall. At 3 under par for the day, James Moore makes his first appearance on the leaderboard. Plenty of players have a significant chance of capturing the title. Sam Connor remains in the driver's seat, but with his second birdie of the event at the 9th, Niall Keaney would only trail by 1. This is very much game on.
Yeah, it's tight at the top, as they say. Now here is Keaney, third shot to 9. Again, just a short wedge, looking to get the distance control, which he has. Just kicked a little bit left on him. A bit disappointed, you can see in his reaction. He thought it was better than that.
Check south. Chip and run. Didn't sound a great contact, but it's working out reasonably well. Just sounded a bit fluffy.
The start of this 9 very different to the start of the course. The first is a brute of a par 4. That one 317 yards, drivable.
Yeah, good variety when the course is so dry. As we see Anderson, and that is in. What a tremendous pitch, and that boosts him right up there.
And now he goes to his beloved back 9, where in the first round, after that excellence, he put together a score of 29, would you believe, on the way to a course record. So watch out.
Yes, he can certainly go low, can Mr. Anderson. There we see after the slightly fluffy chip, South holds out very nicely for his birdie as we go across to Niall Keaney.
Up the hill slightly here for birdie. Needs to be positive, and he's got it. Just grabs the left side. Very good.
And very good also applied to the performance last year at Luton Hoo of Sam Connor. He won the Matchroom Sport Championship at 20 under par, and he's going great guns here as well. One of his rewards, a chat with Kit.
I always love coming back to Longhurst, really. There's great people and it's a great area, so I enjoy the golf course, so yeah, I just like coming back here, so good feelings.
When you won here 3 years ago, that was the catalyst to you going on, finishing 3rd in the order of merit and getting promoted to the Challenge Tour. What was that like playing and stepping up a level?
Yeah, it was awesome. I got injured quite early on, which was a shame, and then came back because I was enjoying it so much when I shouldn't have, but it was fantastic being able to play in a different country every week against great opposition. You know, it's just what you want to do, isn't it? Play at the highest level and travel, and it's what I enjoy. What happened with the injury? I slipped running into a garage, really silly, but I messed up my back and my neck. And how frustrating was it to pick up such a serious injury so quickly into your opportunity on the Challenge Tour? Yeah, it was really frustrating, obviously, because I just like playing golf. Like, I'd play golf if I wasn't doing this, you know, as a profession, you know. So just not being able to do it, you know, it's like, what else do you do? But yeah, it was frustrating. Yeah, you mentioned you came back too soon. What were the sort of short and long-term effects of that? Hopefully long-term, not too bad really, because I feel like I've got it managing it pretty well now. Back onto the Europro Tour now, but how hungry are you to get back to the Challenge Tour and then onto the European Tour as well? Yeah, I mean, very hungry, essentially. Like, you have to moderate that desire, like, at times, so it doesn't take over into, like, your chimp brain. But no, extremely. That's what I've wanted to do all my life, play golf, the highest level in tournaments and win tournaments, and that's what I've wanted to do since I was a kid, so I've not changed in that regard.
3-shot lead going out there into the final round today. You led from the front and won in emphatic style by 7 shots at Luton Hoo last season. Does that give you an advantage?
I don't know if it gives me an advantage, but like certainly that I've done it before, it's something I can slip into and, you know, and just get in the zone and go play. You know, I'll definitely take stuff from that day, take good energy from that day.
How do you approach it when you do have a 3-shot lead and there's a target on your back?
I don't think about it like that at all. I just go and play my golf. That's literally all. I'm not worried about anything. No matter if I'm 3 behind, 3 ahead, I'm still going to try and hit good golf shots and make good decisions, you know. So, and just stay relaxed, that's the key, really.
He's a cool dude behind those shades, and he's been red hot here on the 9th so far. Rounds 1 and 2, eagle and birdie.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous attitude. You can see from that interview, he is so laid back.
Yes, he's a very nice young man if you get the opportunity to talk to him as well, Sam. He's very good, entertaining.
And here's South. Difficult one there. Up onto that green, a little bit shy back into the wind. That one just perhaps dug in on him more than he expected.
Connor's playing partner, Joe Dean. Just trying to flight one in a little bit lower to get that little bit of release up to the pin, and he's done it very well.
571 yards, the 9th, the lengthiest hole on the course, but that for Dean is to complete a full house of birdies for the tournament.
Yeah, some good golf. Now South. We saw his pitch come up short. He's given that one a good positive roll. He's just burnt the right edge.
Sam Connor. Running nicely. Oh yeah, look at that. What a lovely little lip in. So often they lip out. It's always nice when one lips in. Well done, Sam.
Yeah, that was a big putt to make with your playing partner just 2 or 3 feet. Virtually a gimme. Great birdie putt there.
Emily lines up her man. Can Joe deliver?
Yeah, no problem. Good stroke. Straight in the heart of the cup.
So Thomas Anderson, 3 under par for the front 9 after that tremendous hole out, is just 1 behind Sam Connor. Niall Keaney and Joe Dean within striking distance as well. A mere 2 adrift.
Now Anderson at 10, second shot. Can he hole another one? 2 in a row? Too much to ask for, probably. Yeah, a bit strong and a bit wayward with that one.
From 10 to 11.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm just looking around here. I'm glad I ripped that one straight down the middle. As you can see, the white cross there is about 318 off the tee. I've hit that. Well, just got a couple of yards to go. But the narrow of the green, you slightly miss this, and how hard it is. I mean, it could bounce sideways, through, go long, in a world of trouble. You could see some big scores here. So, right, little soft 8. Greens are nice and receptive. Ball's landing nice and softly. So, let's get this one on target. Good hole, this. Get a par here, par's your friend. Slightly come out of it, but it's headed towards the green. Can't quite see that finish. That sun is so bright. It's beautiful here. But he looks like he's on the dance floor, and you take it.
Paul O'Hara certainly would. This is 3rd shot after finding the hazard on that 11th hole off the tee. Quite a low ball flight. This will run and run and run. Scampering up onto the surface. Now back to 10 and Kit.
Anderson got a bit too aggressive with that wedge approach there, and he's left himself short-sided and with a tricky up and down. He's playing off a slight upslope. That'll help him get the ball in the air, and he will need it. Not a lot of green to work with. It's downwind as well, and he's landing it on a very firm, shiny bit of the putting surface. It's going to want to kick left to right when it gets there. He can play it along the deck, but I think he needs height. How would you guys play this one?
Well, it is a tricky one, and the other factor is there is a sprinkler just on that mound in front of him, so he looks like he is going for the aerial route. Left of the sprinkler. And looking for the little kick to the right, and he feels it kicked a bit left on him.
Now, Gary, this would be some save.
Yes, Phil, it certainly would. Just a foot or so from the fringe, up the hill, running well, but running out of pace. On line, though.
Yeah, a lot to ask for, to hold too many of those in a round. Now Anderson, we saw the little pitch. Just about 12, 13 feet here for par. Needs to make this one.
How has that not gone left as well?
Well, a bit baffled by the slopes and the way the ball's moving. O'Hara, just about 18 inches for his bogey.
Hopes of a second title this season, on this tour at least, diminishing.
Yeah, bogeys at the wrong time, as we see Anderson
So confusing.
drop that one in for the bogey. But that's a poor drop going into that hole with a wedge.
As a consequence, Anderson falls back into a three-way tie for second place with Keaney and Dean. Connor's grip on the lead is yet to be loosened. He's too clear, 8 holes to negotiate.
Keaney's tee shot on the 12th. Just 152 yards. Another very small target, but nicely controlled.
Now here's Maestro Morgan telling us about the 13th.
Here we are, 13th hole, ranked the third hardest hole on the first day, 544 yards, so not the biggest beast in the world when it comes to par 5s, but ultimately massively rare having this as the third hardest hole being a par 5. Got 266 yards to go to the green. You've got hazards left, you've got hazards right. From that tee box as well, I honestly thought that fairway was like that, but I've come down here, it's pretty flat actually, pretty generous for you. But like I say, it's very, very narrow, and the boys, very daunting tee shot, but once away, in a good position, get lucky like me, you're having a go in two, no doubt about it. Like I say, 266 yards, green facing you as well, from back to front, slightly sloping to the left-hand side towards 2 beautiful bunkers. Bit of a swell on the short right-hand side as well. So anything up there, I think all the boys will be having a tackle at this in 2 shots. 3 wood out. Can I fly it all the way? Don't know. It's going to have to be my personal best, but here we go. Greens are taking it, so if I get in high, it could stop nicely. Right, that is straight at it. Go, ball. Fly like an eagle. Go on. Oh, is that at the bounce I needed? I think it's on the dance floor. Eagle time. Bring it on.
Morgan majestic. In contrast, Min Chang is having all sorts of issues.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Looking to power it there and get it running. Didn't happen. Awkward spot in the bunker though. And not playing the hole as easily as John showed us.
No, Thomas Anderson. His little mid-iron. Flip down at this. And a cracking shot.
You know, the 13th hole for a par 5 has been a real fly in the ointment. Careers Chang putting for bogey. It's going to be a 6, and would you believe, up to now, that's the 39th double bogey 7 on this hole this week.
Yeah, and he was in such a nice position there. That is really unfortunate, as we see Connor into the 11th. Oh, well, that couldn't have been closer. Right on the edge of the hole before spinning back.
That was a cracking shot, beautifully controlled. Again, very steady, held his posture, and really nipped off the ball there. Well done.
Par 3 12. Keaney saw his approach. Just 20, 25 feet past. Go on then. What a time to hole one as well for Keaney. That's a cracking birdie. Playing partners in there a little bit closer.
Greens are actually running very well, bearing in mind how little natural moisture they've had.
Yeah, the guys are certainly making some putts. Now Connor, we saw his approach in there. This little one just to save par.
You know, he's made 15 birdies so far this week, but that particular par, given the circumstance, will feel as good as any of those birdies.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Phil. Anderson, can he follow his playing partner in? It's tracking, it's looking good, and right there, well done.
It's warm out there, and the metaphorical heat must be being felt by Connor. 3 clear, teeing off. His lead is shrunk to a single stroke. Everything up for grabs as the Dawson and Sanderson Classic continues in just a moment from Lunghurst Hall. Hello there again from Lunghurst Hall. Simply resplendent for the final round of the Dawson and Sanderson Classic, and this quality venue is producing plenty of entertainment and drama. Sam Connor clings to the lead, but on the 13th, Tom Anderson and Niall Keaney are looking to draw level. Down there on a par 5 that's caused so many problems for so many players, it's Kit.
13 is the last of the 3 par 5s on this Dawson layout, and Anderson has hit a nice drive down here. Still 250 yards to what looks like a very small green away in the distance. I think he'll have a go at it though. He really needs to put his foot down and pick up some shots here to put pressure on Connor. Whether or not he does have a shot at the green will tell us a lot about his mindset at this point.
Well, these guys have got to go for it. I mean, you can pitch this about 70, 80 yards short and run it in. There's plenty of room as long as you haven't gone left. And if these guys can close the gap, who knows what will happen to Connor. And that one just coming up 5 or 6 yards short, but in a good spot there. Should be an easy up and down for his birdie.
O'Hara's birdie putt now on the 14th. Running well and running straight in. Woof.
Yes, I don't think we should be writing him off just yet.
No, he can catch fire, make a few in a row. Now Keaney, he's had some trouble on this 13th. This is his 4th shot on the par 5. And that is getting ever further away. And that will be a massive putt for par.
Tom Anderson playing out of the Centurion Club, home of golf sixes. He's a former English amateur international. He's won on the collegiate circuit in the United States, and earlier today, shooting the breeze, he was with Kit. Course record 63 in the opening round. What do you need to do today to replicate that kind of form?
Just hit my wedges close. I think if you hit your wedges close to, like, you know, inside 6 feet, 3 feet, then you've got a really high percentage of knocking them in. So just got to try and do that again. That's what I did in my 63.
Yeah, that's the way to score. But with conditions firm, it is hard to get them close. Now this from the fringe with a putter for eagle. Go on, get up there. It's tracking. It's tracking.
What a difference a day makes. Yesterday in his 75, he had 3 straight bogeys from this hole. Much improved. And now Connor has company at the top.
Yeah, and who knows how the psychology of that may change things for Connor. We shall find out as we see South. 3rd shot to 15. Just playing a little flop shot here. Landing on the hard pan and looking for release, but not quite enough.
Anderson birdied 13 But Gary, Keaney looks like bogeying it.
Yes, and worse coming as that one slides past, so the bogey will become a double bogey. That's a real big blow to Niall Keaney.
Yeah, that's got to be the end of his challenge, you would think. Now here is South for par. Not his best stroke. Just pulled that one a little. And again, dropping shots in the latter stages is always costly.
And even this isn't a gimme. Well, it finally disappears, and sadly I think so is Mr. Keaney's challenge.
Yes, as Keaney's hopes faded with that untimely mistake, confirmation that for the first time today, Connor's not in sole possession of the lead. Anderson on a roll, and don't discount Dean.
And here is Dean. Par 5, second shot, 2 behind. Can he make an eagle and join the boys at the top? Going in with a long iron. Looking to bounce this one in. Very good. It's going to run away though. But that's a chance for eagle.
Nice little close up here. Watson attempting to finish up, but that's pretty frustrating. Never got it on line.
Connor just under the face here. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Just got to be aggressive with this. A lot of sand. He's played that very well indeed. He'll have that 5-footer for birdie.
Yeah, the key to having some success with shots like this where you're not able to stand in the bunker is to try and get your knees level. That gives you the balance, and you can still bend over from the hips. As you can see, if you can keep your balance, keep your level, you get a result like that.
Up on the 16th, telling us all about it, here's John Morgan.
I tell you what, I reckon this tournament could be won and lost on this hard 16th hole. It's a great par 3, 198 yards, like I said. I'm just in between clubs. 6 iron will definitely carry that bunker, but do I want to bring the luck of the banks into play, or do I want to fly it on the green, which is lying towards me with a 5 iron, nice floaty one, from left to right, land it soft? I think I'm going to go for the 5 iron. Just hit it nice and easy. I can squeeze an 8 iron there, no problem about it, but 5 iron will definitely be pitching in the middle of the green, and that's what I need. So here we go, 5 iron on the go. Nice and easy swing. Find the dance floor is a must. Well, there you go, straight for the centre of the green. Now just a nice soft landing, please. It looked pretty soft. And if that's on the putting green, you take that all day long.
The last and the lengthiest of the 3 par 3s here. Jack South needs a storming finish. Not bad this, but back on the 13th, Dean is looking for something exceptional.
Well, 2 wonderful shots from Joe Dean there to set up this 30-foot eagle opportunity, but it's a difficult one. Initially uphill, then the final quarter of it is downhill. And as it gets to that point, it's really going to swing hard from left to right. It's going to take a handbrake turn at the hole. He's got to be delicate, especially downwind. He'll just want to drop this in the left edge of the hole.
Well, what a time to make an eagle if you can. Final par 5. Giving it a good wrap up the first bit. Just coming up a little shy. Can see the swing on that thing.
And following the very good tee shot that Phil told us about, Jack South, left lip and in. Wonderful birdie.
Connor back on 13. This for his birdie. Just about 4.5 feet. Yeah, very solid, confident stroke there.
When you've done it before, it's a great help. Dean still looking to break through. this now, you feel, a must-make.
Yeah, another confident stroke. Makes the birdie, keeps the pressure on.
It took just one hole for stubborn Sam Connor to regain the lead on his own. The Cheshire man has 5 holes to play, and the first of those is a testing par 4 that demands respect.
So let's take a look at the par 4 412-yard 14th. Fairly generous fairway, water away over onto the left there that has to be avoided, and then it's a slight dogleg turning up towards 11 o'clock, half past 11. It's not going to be playing long today, so with a good tee shot in the middle of the fairway, it'll just be a middle short iron, and really this bunker that we're seeing now shouldn't come into play.
Connor's tee shot on 14 unfortunately sailed into the water over this marker beside me. He's going to have to take a drop. He's still 160 yards from the hole, and as you can see here, the ground really uneven. Depending on which way it bounces, the ball's either going to be below or above his feet. He'll need to get up and down to save his par. At the very worst, he'll want to get down in 3 from here to save that bogey and keep some momentum heading into the final few holes.
Big moment here. Could be a very expensive mistake.
He's got a bit lucky though here, because on that slope the ball's run outside the 2 club lengths, and as you can see, he gets the opportunity to place it.
Another man taking a drop from underneath the tree. No Connor. So this is his 3rd after the penalty drop from the hazard. Needs to find the surface at worst. Sounded like a good strike. Well, he's just pulled up pin high left.
Might be feeling a little less pressurised if he were to find out that Anderson was also in a spot of bother.
Sit down.
Sounds like he's got a flyer. Well, it's pulled up a little bit for him, just trickling through onto the fringe. Actually, still going, just into the fluffy stuff. And you only need a couple of strands of grass between your club face and the ball, and you're going to lose that bit of control.
With those developments, Gary, the door might be ajar for this man.
Yeah, it certainly could be, and can he step through and take advantage? It's hung on. That was at one stage extremely good.
Anderson now opting for the wedge from just in the fluffy stuff. Test of nerves here, Gary.
It was, and he rose to the occasion, and the ball disappears.
What a save that was. All happening on that hole.
Connor would like something similar. Out with his flat stick from just off the edge. About 25 feet this one though. Well, not in, but cosily up hole side.
Yeah, damage limitation.
Suitably encouraged by that against the head chip in. Anderson now co-leader on 16.
Yeah, this tricky par 3 that John described earlier could be pivotal in this tournament. And that is a wide on the short grass, but a long way from the hole.
Joe Dean following his nice pitch in that just spun back a bit. Up the slope, running well. He's had a couple of those, hasn't he? Right in the jaws, and a big sigh, not to be.
An inch away from sharing the lead. He's known for getting frustrated on the golf courses, Joe Dean, but today I think he's shown an awful lot of character. Really good temperament after a terrible start.
Yeah, he's battled back well. Now Anderson, par 3, he's wide of the green to the right here. Delicate pitch, very hard to control, and that's going to take the tier get ever further away.
I'm racing past nearly as far as he was to the right of the green.
Now Connor for bogey on 14. Needs to just take his time, make sure of this one. Positive stroke. Well, that was anything but positive. That was hesitant. And that is a double bogey.
As it stands then, Anderson leads alone, but to stay there, this has to go in.
Well, this is a big ask. Up the slope. He gave it a go, but now he's got work to do. Just to drop one shot. It's all happening.
Yeah, they're all seeming to have a bit of a rush of blood at the moment, and chucking shots away like confetti as we see south. Well, another one that's online, but just seem to have lost the pace of the greens in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, a bit tentative there. Picked up one in the last 3 for a round of 71. 1 under par, -6 total.
Back to Anderson, who now wishes he hadn't knocked it 4.5 feet past. Whew, big sigh of relief. Shake of the head.
It's been that sort of day. One of twists and turns from the outset. Right now, Anderson, Dean and Connor are tied at the top as the story at the Dawson and Sanderson Classic becomes ever more intriguing. More action from the hotelplanner.com Euro Pro Tour after the break. Welcome back to the scenic county of Northumberland, to Longhurst Hall, and to a rip-roaring battle for the Dawson and Sanderson Classic silverware. Niall Keaney is 4th, 2 off the pace. Joe Dean, Sam Connor and Tom Anderson share the lead, with the latter tackling what could prove to be a swing penultimate hole, the 17th.
And here is that 17th at just 359 yards. A real chance for birdie for these guys. Penultimate hole. These bunkers on the left, not really in play, just over 200 yards. Guys either getting it down with an iron, leaving themselves their preferred yardage, or even take the driver, get it as close as you can. This bunker on the right, not really in play. Great birdie opportunity for these guys towards the end of the round.
If there's a playoff, it will start right here. Is Anderson going to be dialed in?
Sounded a great contact. Just a little bit strong. About 18 feet there for his birdie.
Joe Dean's par putt now. 6 feet.
Well done, Joe.
Crowd like it. Bit of a sigh from Joe himself.
Well, a bit of work, but he did it well. Great par save. Now Anderson. This for birdie. 17. Should be a little bit left to right. Has he given it enough? No, just burns the right edge. An opportunity gone.
He's been caught, Sam Connor, but he's never been passed. Not today. Still in there. Momentum not on his side, but he realises a big chance is there nevertheless.
Well, Keaney on 17. This is for bogey. Obviously feeling the effects of the double earlier. Just throwing him off kilter.
Anderson now, as we saw, slip past the edge of the hole.
What was that?
And you may well ask, Tom, you may well ask. It was not a thing of any great beauty.
What a shocking outcome. I've pretty much given him that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about 17 being a great birdie chance, so to drop one is just horrendous for the guys. Dean powering the driver up there.
Well, that really is an aggressive play, and it's been rewarded.
Yeah, just off the left side of the green. Chip and putt for birdie. Over to Connor, see what you've got.
Yeah, Dean certainly put the pressure on him by firing one eye. Can Connor respond? Looks like he can. It's running up nicely towards the front of the green. Yep, cracking tee shot.
Kit's up there. What's the lie like for Dean?
What a finish this is turning out to be. The 17th hole, 359 yards, and Joe Dean has absolutely bombed a drive pin high. What's even better, he's missed it on the good side, so he's got plenty of green to work with. Connor's pretty far down the hole as well, but this is becoming a fantastic battle between these two, with Anderson having just dropped a shot on this very same hole.
Well, Connor's got the advantage of going first. If he can knock this in close, really put the pressure on his playing partner. Good view of this chip. Well, I think he played that well, Gary. It just pulled up on him.
Yeah, I think he actually struck it too well. Just got a little bit too much stop. Anderson now. 18th, having hit a boomer of a tee shot, looking straight down onto the green.
Yeah, looking to make amends for the bogey on the last, and that gives him a chance.
Nice, easy. Little more than a half swing there. Just let the weight of the club drop on the ball. Good result.
Well, Dean took the risk off the tee with the driver. Is he going to reap the reward?
Pretty good effort. Got inside his playing partner there, but it's not dead. It's no gimme, as we've seen on that green.
Back to Anderson, where we left him pin high. Not a lot of movement in this putt. Oh, trying to get a bit of knee action to turn it in, but the golf ball wasn't watching his knees.
Has he done enough? You would think not. But I'll tell you what, the way he's played here, he could be a big factor as the season progresses. Next up, by the way, it's the Clipper Logistics Championship up at Moore Allerton in Leeds.
Now Connor, first to go on 17. Just outside 10 feet here for birdie. This is a big putt in this tournament. And he's up to the challenge. Good stroke. And he knows that means something.
Yes, it's one of those opportunities where this sort of match play situation has developed, and have at thee, Sir Percy. But Dean's up to it. Very cool.
Ideal scenario now. Both members of the final two ball going head to head as they tackle the closing hole.
Here we are, 423 yard par 4, generous fairway guarded by this bunker on the right, but really with the warm conditions it's not going to come into play for these players. They're going to try and fly it right over that, and then you've got a long thin green with a lot of slopes on this, so it's all really about picking the right club for the second shot and getting it to the right position on the green to give yourself possibly a birdie putt.
Tied with Connor. Could this finally be Dean's Euro Pro Tour breakthrough after so many close calls? Deep breaths, trust the swing.
Yeah, he's going with the iron here. Bunker on the right is 255 to get past. Possibly just trying to squeeze it down the side of that. He's got some run on it, and it stayed on the short stuff. Whereas Connor is out with the driver, going for glory. Hit it too straight. Needs to pull up. Yep, No need to worry on that one.
On a course that's been really hard and fast, the bounce was rather subdued, saving his bacon.
Yes, I think he was a bit fortunate there when he saw that flying away. I think he was expecting the worst.
Keaney again just misses on the left side. Both of those guys a little bit deceived on the final green.
He's going to eclipse his best result of the season, though. Previously to this, it was tied 10th at Clevedon when he shot a closing 66. Today, a 73.
Yeah, 3 shots gone in the last 6 holes. But here we are. This is the crunch time now. Second shot for Dean. Great angle here. Just a controlled wedge. Fantastic approach.
Yes, when you see a shot like that, beautifully played, it justifies the decision to play the iron off the tee, allowing him to play in from a bit further back where he could be slightly more aggressive and get a bit more backspin on the shot, which he did beautifully.
He did indeed. Now Connor, further down, worse angle. Really going to have to play something special here. Yeah, very good as well.
Kids got the lowdown on their respective putts.
Potentially career-defining and launching putts coming up here for Joe Dean and Sam Connor. They're all tied up and they both hit lovely approaches in here to the 18th green. Dean slightly closer, he's got about 8 feet. Sam Connor 4 feet or so further away. Of course you want to be closer, but with Connor going first, we all know in match play what can happen if you get that one in first. That hole will suddenly shrink. I cannot wait to see what happens here.
Yeah, it all comes down to the 2 final putts on the final green. Here's Connor. Can he make that hole smaller? Pick your line, put a good stroke on it. That's missed on that side as well. Perhaps the guy's just seeing something that isn't really there. Now a chance for Dean for victory.
Got a lovely look at it. Can he start it on line? Oh, interesting. Connors really didn't move. Dean from the other side there, it just swung half a hole and we saw the result.
Agony. It's going to be his 5th top 10 of the season already. But he wants something more, that elusive victory, and he was so close.
Yeah, I think halfway to the hole he thought he'd got it. He got a piece of the hole, but not enough.
Now, ordinary Joe, that was a really good performance after dropping 2 shots on the very first hole.
Yeah, fantastic bounce back. Played great stuff for the final 17. Now Connor, just to nudge this one in to secure the playoff. And there you have it.
Exciting stuff and more to come. All of that means this. Tom Anderson produces a Europro to a personal best, but just as last year here, 54 holes have proved insufficient to determine the Dawson and Sanderson Classic champion. Sam Connor and Joe Dean must retrace their steps to the 17th for sudden death. It's playoff time.
Sam Connor and Joe Dean battled it out as the final pairing over 18 holes today, and it wasn't enough to separate them. Both finished on 10 under par, so back out we go. We're here on the 17th. It's a par 4. Both took driver and got it very close in regulation. I expect to see more aggression now. If this doesn't separate them, we come back down 18 and so on until we have a sudden death playoff winner.
Well, this is what it's all about. Can the guys replicate their good tee shots from regulation play? First blood to Connor, perhaps. May have just leaked this one slightly to the right. Could be short-sided there. He's up by the green, but not much room to work with coming in over those little slopes.
All looks pretty good, nicely balanced, kept his nerve And all in all, a pretty good result. But as you say, Scott, he's just going to have that awkward, slightly short-sided chip. And how about Joe Dean? A bit quicker rhythm there than he's had earlier today.
Yeah, just a bit of adrenaline, bit of anxiety, and he too has hit it in almost the same spot. So they're both going to have a challenging pitch or chip from that side. Looked a good swing.
Having both elected to take driver again, they've missed it in just about the worst place here, short and right of the green. Connor, as he has been all day, slightly shorter. Joe Dean, just another 10 yards further up. But for both of them, that bunker comes into play. There's only 3 paces of green over there. It's downwind as well. It's going to take an absolute magician's touch to get either of these balls close.
In the tournament itself, 2 birdies and a par on this hole for Dean. But Kit is right.
Hold your nerve now. Get it on the surface within 15 feet would be good. And it's just outside that, Gary, but all in all, not a disaster from there.
No, and you could see it was very difficult to get any chance. He had to play some sort of flop shot, but it was almost like playing off hard pan there. It was like a bunker shot almost. Connor's lie looks slightly better. Yeah, a bit more grass under the ball there.
He just caught the downslope of the bunker, but still managed to stay within a little bit closer than his playing partner.
Lovely view of the club sliding across the line and under the ball as we look at Joe Dean. Much movement on this one, you reckon, Scott?
Should be just a little bit from his left. Got to hit it firm enough, got to give it a chance, but he's misread that completely.
And that means that Sam Connor now has a putt to capture his 4th title on the Europro Tour.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity now. Very makeable putt here up the hill. Be positive with it. Fantastic birdie and a worthy winner. What a battle that was today, guys.
It was. Before this, his best result of the season, tied 18th in the season-opening Motor Caddy Masters. Now, though, he's a champion again.
It always takes a while when I've won for it to sink in, because you've just been so focused, so in the zone, you know, playing golf. But it feels amazing. I gotta tell you, it feels amazing. You know, I mean, I didn't have my best out there today. You know, I've got a dodgy knee and foot, and you know, I just did the best I could and stuck in there. And Joe played really good, really well today. You know, so we had a great battle, and I was delighted to win.
Sam Old, the port side, I didn't. It's their game, unfortunately.
You must be really pleased with how you bounced back after that opening double bogey, though.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help. Played really solid. Other than that, hit a lot of good putts, just didn't quite find the bottom of the hole. So
last time you won here at Longhurst Hall, you went on to finish 3rd in the Order of Merit and earn your way onto the Challenge Tour. Do we think there's a repeat performance this season?
Well, that'd be great. That's the aim. That's the aim, really. The aim is to come top 5 this year on this tour. So, yeah.
Mark Young retains pole position in the Order of Merit after those wins at Clevedon and Camberwell Park. Dean's consolation climbing to 3rd, but look at Connor. From nowhere to number 6, now bidding for one of 5 promotion spots to compete on the Challenge Tour next year.
Well, what an epic finale that was here at Longhurst Hall. Niall Keaney, Thomas Anderson, Joe Dean, they all had their shots at Sam Connor today, but in the end it was the overnight leader who emerged victorious. A good shout out to Joe Dean though. His ball striking was magnificent. If a few more putts had dropped, he'd be the man holding the trophy, but his time will come, I'm sure. Today though, Sam Connor gutted it out when he didn't have his A game to become a 4-time Europro Tour champion here at the Dawson and Sanderson Classic.